Okay, let's move on. But perhaps not in this cycle of the world. Perhaps not the next, but one day, one worm will stand alone, triumphant, with all of humanity as its cattle, with all the world as its prize. And that, he trembles, his voice dropping to a whisper, that I will not allow. Oh, well, we are going to hit on some of these points. This plan of yours killed your brother. Was it really worth it? Valclair's fists slam into the table, sending his cigarette flying in a cascade of sparks and ash. No. Nothing can make that right. Nothing. He runs his hand through his unkempt hair, blinking through a haze of sudden tears. Damn it, Hermie, why couldn't you just let me go? You don't have to add to his loss, Doctor. This doesn't need to continue. He covers his eyes. No, I'm afraid it does. I love my brother more than you can know, but... He wipes away the tears, looks you in the eye. This changes nothing. My brother's death only strengthens my resolve. Were I to stop now, his loss would be in vain. He would want me to continue. I've watched hours of your brother's video footage, Valclair. I probably know him better than anyone alive, excepting yourself. His face twists into an ugly sneer. You've watched footage, and that makes you think that you know the man. You know nothing. I know that he wanted you to stop all of this years ago. He begged you to, and you promised him that you'd try. Valclair falls silent. A wisp of smoke traces its way from the tip of his cigarette to the ceiling. She's right, Valclair. Your brother was a miserable bastard, but he did die trying to save you. If you don't turn your back from this, his death will have meant nothing. Nothing at all. That's enough. Hermes' death was a tragedy. I will not let you use it to manipulate me. Valclair straightens. He looks angry, but behind the anger you can sense a deep fatigue. Even if you succeed at this, eliminating dragons will create a dangerous power vacuum. He laughs. A pointless argument. Any power vacuum created through dragonkind's extermination will be filled by meta-humanity. Any backlash will right itself over time. Well, that's just... You're stupid. There's no two ways about it. I am playing the long game, Shadowrunner, one that has played out over thousands of years. When you think on that scale, everything seems possible. Humanity will endure and the dragons will perish. Look, you're not infallible, Doc. You've already made mistakes here and people died as a result. Valclair looks amused. Mistakes? He uses the tip of his cigarette to gesture at the glass. So says the career criminal trapped in the containment room. I've read some of your inter-office communications. There have been a number of deaths here over the years, haven't there? He pauses. We have suffered losses, yes. They were tragic, but the people here accepted there would be risks. They made their own choices. I won't take the blame for that. This one feels more biting, but I get that they made their own decisions. But from what I was reading, it sounds like those people died from your negligence. Basic lapses in lab safety, it said. He glares at you through the glass. Is there some point you're trying to make, or are you just trying to anger me? My point is that everyone makes mistakes, even you. And yet you want to roll the dice with a biological weapon? It will work, I'm telling you. Bet you told your researchers their lab would be safe too. Look how that turned out. The muscles at the corner of his mouth tightened. Why am I even talking to you? You're trapped in there and I've still got work to do. Aldrin will be here for you soon enough. The old man turns away from you, studying some invisible detail on his console. He looks irritated. There are worse things out there than dragons, Valclair. Exterminating one threat could open the door to another. He grinds his teeth in exasperation. Another pearl of wisdom from the Shadowrunner. The great dragons represent an incalculable threat to our survival as a species. To spare them for fear of some unknown nebulous danger would be absurd. Besides which, there is nothing that is worse than a dragon. I am in a position to know. No, you just know about dragons, and you've worked yourself up into a tizzy over 40 years. You're wrong. An astral entity told me about things that exist out on metaplanes, horrifying things that we can't even hope to comprehend. He lets out a startled chuckle. What does that matter? Even if your spirit stories are true, the dragons are what threaten us now. But dragons don't exist in a vacuum. They're part of the awakened world's ecosystem, and they have been since the beginning of time. Let's agree that this is true. What does it matter? Smallpox was with us since the beginning, but I don't see anyone crying over its eradication. It does make me wish I had this academic etiquette. It would be interesting to hear the dialogue, but dragons aren't smallpox. If you drive them extinct, you'll be creating a condition that has never existed for the whole of human history. There is no telling what might happen as a result. I will not just sit back and let them take over the world. I must act. His bony hands clench into fists. I will act. You may be right, Valclair, but this isn't the answer. Valclair glares silently through the glass. If Hermie were here with us right now, listening to this conversation, he'd tell you to stop this. Deny it if you want, but you know it's true. He slams his fist against the glass, his face contorted in a mask of rage and grief. How dare you presume to speak for my brother? To hell with you letting you live. You're going to have front and center seats for Furshwinger's return. I will see to it myself. You're what, Doctor? Her voice is soft but firm. For a long moment, Valclair stares at her, unmoving. Finally, his eyes flit to the ground. I'm not... If Hermie were here... Oh, God. The old man continues to stare at his feet. The blood has drained from his cheeks, leaving them sickly pale. If Hermie were here, he will not support this. He would point out the risks, the unknowns, the sacrifices, much as he always had before he... Valclair's jaw clenches. The muscles of his throat tighten as he forces himself to swallow. He would try to stop me. That's rough. You still have a chance to give him what he wanted. You can put a stop to this before more people get killed. Valclair remains silent for some time. Finally, the old man begins to speak. He sounds hollowed out, gutted. For over 40 years, I ignored the rest of the world. I ignored the media and the military, the board of directors at Dale, and my little brother. No, especially my little brother. I wouldn't listen to them because I knew I was right. I knew what had to be done, what they were all blind to. I was Hermie's big brother. I was the great and celebrated dragon slayer. I knew better. He makes a sweeping gesture, a look of contempt on his face. You see this lab, the complex you're standing in, and the plan that it was built to serve? I sacrificed everything for this. My job, my health, my family. I was prepared to sacrifice Berlin to feed those people to the same fires I spent my youth trying to extinguish. And all the while, Hermie was trying to tell me I wasn't right, and I refused to listen. My refusal killed him, my little brother, the person I love most in the world. He covered his face with a withered hand. If only I had heard him, none of this would have happened. I'll be damned. I think you've talked him out of it. The old man lets out a heavy sigh, his entire body trembling. When he recovers, he looks almost like a different man, tired and frail, defeated. My cure, the panacea, it isn't ready. I was ready to turn a blind eye to the flaws and deploy it anyway, but my eyes are open now, and I do not like what I see. I cannot change what's been done. I can't bring Hermie back. But I can put a stop to this. I can finally listen to what he was always trying to tell me, to what I would never hear him say. And so I shall. I know this is a hard decision, Valclair, but it's the right one. He stares at his trembling hands, a sad smile on his face. More than 4 decades of planning, all undone in the span of a single conversation. My brother's words, delivered through the mouth of a criminal. I finally listened, Hermie. 42 years too late. Through the speakers, you can hear the sound of heavy footsteps approaching. Oh dear. Aldrin. Valclair looks up at the orc. His voice trembles slightly. There has been a change of plans. No time for that, Doc. We're waking up the dragon's physical form right now. Everything is ready for the procedure to begin. You should see to it. There will be no procedure, Aldrin. The orc pauses. You're going to have to repeat that. The plan, my plan, is flawed. Fatally so. The dragon will not fly tonight. Aldrin stops in his tracks. He stares at Valclair, unblinking. This must come as a shock to you. I am sorry for that. Valclair smiles weakly. Your belief in our cause was second only to my own. The orc goes on staring at the old man for a long time. Then something in his face changes. If that's the way you feel, Doctor. If that's the way you feel, it's been an honor, Doctor. Valclair smiles weakly. The honor has been mine. The scarred orc stares at you through the glass as Valclair's body cools at his feet. His eyes are brimming with hate. You shouldn't have made me do that, asshole. The doc was like family to me. I'll cry you a river. You killed Paul Amsel. You'll join him soon enough, don't you worry. But first things first, I have a dragon to release. The doctor's plan, panacea, it won't work. He knew that in the end. It will. The dragons will die. I've seen what panacea could do. The doc showed me tissue samples. It melted them. The dragons will die, yes, but there's no telling what else might happen. Unleashing that shit could have deadly consequences for all of us. He continues to stare at you. And? Oh, you son of a bitch. Look who's talking. For all of his faults, Valclair was a hero. And now he's dead, and it's your fault. What is this all about for you, Aldrin? Why the hell are you doing this? Why am I releasing the dragon, spreading Valclair's panacea to infect the world? Because the world is sick, Alice. Anyone with half a brain can see that. So I'm going to use the doc's wonder bug to poison it back to health. It might get better or it might die. Either would be better than languishing like this. Oh, I get it. You've had a rough life and you've decided to take it out on everyone else. That's fine. Make this all about me if you want. Do what makes you happy. You're wrong, of course, but believe what you like while you still can. Speaking of which, did the doc tell you that you're standing in the animal research lab? It's overflowing with test subjects, and they don't play well with others. Nasty, dangerous things. And it's well past their feeding time. He punches a button, and from the corner of the room you hear a hissing sound. Pneumatic locks sliding open. And now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a dragon to wake up. If you're still alive when I get back, I'll put a bullet in you. If you're lucky, I might even put it in your head. Quick and clean. Like your pal Amsel. He pauses for a moment, considering. You probably shouldn't count on that, though. Wait, could I break the glass the whole time? Because it kept giving me that prompt to break the glass, and unless that was like a red herring that would prove that the glass is bulletproof, shouldn't I be able to shoot the glass and escape through the control room now? Huh. Okay, well, that was a lot. The dialogue actually turned out better than I expected. I'm still not thrilled with some of the conclusions, and I'm still worried that a lot of the plot threads that we explored earlier in the game are either not really being used or even being like actively subverted. But I don't know. I guess we'll find out more about how this is going to go next time. I'll see you guys then.